If you want to gain control over your voice, you need to study other singers that have amazing control over their voices. And when Beyoncé sang Flaws and All at the Renaissance tour, she gave us clues on how to steer a voice into a successful performance. So let's listen to what she's doing together. Okay, come on, Beyoncé.
I'm a train wreck in the morning.
Yep. First of all, she's letting the weight show. I'm a train wreck in the morning.
I'm a train wreck in the morning.
Right? She's very much giving the weight. And what helps her to do it is also the key. I'm always going to talk about keys. Keys are important for singers. She's actually singing in the original key of Flaws and All. And it really goes to show how great Flaws and All is as a song in general in terms of being able to age with her voice. She's singing it in the original key, and because she's doing that, we're gonna really see this new weight on her voice show. But like we said in Dangerously in Love, she's only showing this new weight to her voice because she chooses to. If she wanted to, she could have masked the tone to make it a little bit lighter, but here she's giving the full weight, everything that her voice is. It kind of goes with the theme of Flaws and All. Yeah.
In the afternoon.
Yeah, we're getting some very explosive consonants here from Beyoncé. She's allowing the weight to show, but also she is playing up the weight by creating more explosion in the consonants. The line also calls for that a little bit because the B at the beginning of the word is juxtaposed to the other words. I'm a in the afternoon.
I'm a bitch in the afternoon.
So you got some vowel words. I'm, and then you got that big B in the middle, in the afternoon, right? So that word right in the middle was just calling for some explosion, and Beyoncé went for it. She made that thing big. And that's one thing to think about with vocal control. When are you going to allow the consonants to be bigger? When are you going to allow them to be smaller? Vocal control is all about choices. And it's not just about choices, but it's about the ability to make the choices. Like the reason why Beyoncé can sing something light, like in Dangerously in Love, like the beginning of Dangerously in Love, and then bring in the weight on Flaws and All, is because she knows and understands the capabilities, the faculties of her voice. She knows what her voice is, and she can feel and understand what the capabilities of her voice is, and work within those capabilities to give us a dynamic performance, going from a light side to a harder side. And she can do that in one song, but then she can do that from song to song. And we're seeing that here on Flaws and All. She's really letting the weight show. Yes, absolutely.
I'm a bitch in the afternoon.
Yeah, and listen to that vibrato go in the afternoon, like she's letting it go. There's also a little bit of a vocal fry in the middle of that word that allows for there to be some dynamic space. Vowels can either be done in a long way, they can be done in a short way, and Beyoncé chose to create with that explosion like this staccato like shortness. In the afternoon, and then she attaches the rest of the word to the next one, but it's not the word jerk.
Every now and then without warning.
Yes. Every now and then without warning. And she's bringing back the tone. Like, I love her connection to the smallest parts of her voice, the smallest dynamics of her voice. And that's another thing about control. You need to be able to sing with your voice at small volumes. If you're able to create these small, connected, supported sounds at small volumes, then that is the ticket to actually being able to create a bigger sounds. With a lot of singers nowadays, you're hearing people that are not able to sing softly without whispering. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with whispering as a stylistic effect or anything like that. But if we're talking about the ability to choose what to do with your voice, you really want to be able to master those smaller volumes and that connection that feels free, that's full of vibrato if you wanted to have that, and a sense of freedom at these smaller volumes that's fully supported. Yes.
I can be really mean toward you.
Yes, best believe she's gonna choose when to use that vibrato. I can be really mean toward you. And then continued with the vibrato. Straight tone.
Mean
And then vibrato.
to
Yes.
I'm a puzzle, yes indeed.
Yes. Yeah, and you can see the way she placed puzzle. I'm a puzzle.
I'm a puzzle.
You can see she opened up her mouth, allowed that thing to be fully open. I'm a puzzle. And that's the other thing. Beyonce knows that as she's starting to get up into her belting range, she's going to need to open up in order for that thing to have a sense of clarity, but also a sense of comfort. Like I said in the last video, belting is athletic. And if we're going to allow there to be a successful belt, we need to engage a lot, but also open up. Yeah. And again, straight tone. Yeah. And I love the choice there. Complex, right? And she disconnected there. Here I am editing the video, needing to add something. You can hear the difference between the weight of her full modal belt. Complex. They're two such different tones, and it takes a whole lot of control to be able to differ between something that is so weighty and something that is so light in pitch. So it shows that Beyonce is not only good at being at one side or the other side of her voice, but she's good at bouncing between the two dynamics with enough coordination to be able to do that in pitch. Not easy.
Now the pieces aren't even in the box.
Yeah, and box, right? Of course she's gonna have those mini runs in there, those mini little trills, those little moments. Box, yeah.
But yet, you see the picture clear as day.
Yeah, she's letting the weight show. You're now starting to hear her treat the vowels of the song a little bit differently. Now, a lot of it is stylistic, so day. I feel like there's also a sense of difference between the studio recording and live, or like that live effect. Flaws and All is a very quiet song, in my opinion, in terms of the original studio recording. Picture clear as day.
Picture clear as day.
It's very small, that studio recording. Like her voice and her performance is very small. For this live version, she decided to expand this thing.
Picture clear as day.
And leaving it in the original key does that already in and of itself. But I feel like she's even playing up the weight of her voice all the more. Absolutely.
Don't know why you love me.
Yes, listen to that straight tone. Why you love me. Keep that straight. I love the contrast. You can even see it in her mouth. Love me. Right? Dynamically, they were very different notes. It's almost like she's painting the bigness of love. Like, oh my gosh, you love me. Who wrote this song? We're gonna find out together.
Solange!
Solange? Are you kidding me? Solange wrote this?
With some other people!
Are you serious? Hold on. I'm looking. I need to see this for myself. Shout out to Maya. It's Neo, Shea Taylor, Beyonce, and Solange. Neo and Solange wrote on this?
Why are you surprised?
I shouldn't be surprised.
The pen is strong.
Anything Solange touches, anything Neo touches. Listen, these people, it's a well-written song. Let's just put it that way.
And that's why I love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. All of that is centered around her vibrato. And I'm going to say this over and over and over. Follow the vibrato. Now, a lot of people don't use vibrato or can't do it quite yet. If you're someone that uses vibrato on a regular basis and it's consistent, it's not too wide, it's not too slow, you'll find that if you can't use your vibrato, you're usually entering a space of resistance with your voice. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't go there vocally, but it does mean that you may need to be aware of, potentially being uncomfortable and possibly straining if you can't create vibrato.
Catch me when I
Yeah. And when like that beautiful fall on I, yes.
love.
Flies. Those little turns.
And that's why I love
Yep, straight tone, come on. Yep. Yep. Again, the shape of her mouth is independent of the faculties that are needed for her vibrato to be free. And I think that's another thing that we need to talk about. Being able to separate different aspects of your body and support when it comes to singing. So we can put your vowels, your breath support, and then in the middle we'll put the thickening and the thinning of your folds, or, creating thinner or thicker tones, creating higher and lower notes. If we're able to separate those three things, your embouchure, your vocal tract, your actual registration, and your support, if we can separate those things in your singing, then you're gravy, right? But a lot of people think that all of these things just meddle into one, right? And they don't know how to separate the breath support from the embouchure, and so they create strain in order to create vibrato. And so that's why a lot of singers find themselves in a tussle with their own voice, because they don't know that these things have separate faculties. And being able to compartmentalize your voice is essential to being somebody that knows their voice. And if you're in the space where you're discovering what your voice can do, I wanted to give you some help. So what I've done is I've created a free online resource for all of you singers that are trying to discover yourself. So in order to grab it, go to reclaimyourvoice.ca/masterclass, watch the masterclass, and there you can grab some information that will help you to start to even compartmentalize your own voice and its faculties, and to be able to understand what's going on, because there are so many things happening in your body when you sing, and if you are not clued into it, you're going to be going out into the performance and singing world like a deer in headlights, and I don't want that for you. So I want you to go to reclaimyourvoice.ca/masterclass and reclaim your voice. Reclaiming my voice. Anyway, let's keep listening to what Beyonce is doing.
When I need attention, I tend to nag.
Yeah. When I need attention. She's closing the word there. When I need attention. You know what? If I could illustrate this for you, essentially what Beyonce is doing and what good singers do is that they have all these different aspects of their voice on a spectrum. So you can have something like a straight tone on one side, and then you have the use of vibrato on the other side. You can have soft vowels on one side. You can have explosive vowels on the other side. There's so many different things that you can have on either side. A good singer is going to know how to bounce from one to the other, from one to the other, right? So they're going to start with a straight tone, then head to some vibrato, right? This is about being able to make choices here. But in order for you to make the choices, you need to know how to create straight tone. You know how to create something that's soft and connected, right? Like, it's about being able to have the choice. But after that, you need to make good choices, right? So you're hearing Beyonce choose between either or all at the same time. Now, is she thinking this way? Like, oh, I want to turn on vibrato at about 15 seconds or whatever. She's not necessarily doing that, but having a culture of emotive singing allows you to start to know how to make those choices for yourself and be bold enough to make those choices. Even the boldness to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to allow my emotions to show. I'm going to allow my vulnerability to show. To give that to your audience, that's an entirely different ballgame. Make some good choices, people.
I'm a host.
Yeah, listen, host. And that's another thing, even if we're going to continue on this spectrum, the brightness and then the darkness of a vowel. That's another thing you can choose. There's so many different things you could choose, but anyway.
But you see past all
Right,
that.
but you, right? And you know what? Continuing on this little plane here, of course you're going to have your sweet spot, and that is what you will usually do when you're singing, a normal tone. And what will often happen is that people aren't just bouncing between the extremes of their voice, they're also bouncing from their norms vocally out to the extremes and then bouncing back. So it's all about also establishing your own style when it comes to what you want to do with your voice, and then making intentional choices and then coming back to the tone. And that might have to differ from genre to genre, right? It's not about just you being able to just give your own style. It's also about you being able to create different centers of what your norm is, depending on what you were singing, the speed of the song, the genre of the song, the vocal range of the song. Like, there's so many different centers that you can create with your tone. Like, Beyonce is so good at doing upbeat music, but then she's able to bring it down and give us a power ballad, or give us something that's a little bit rappy, right? Her voice is taking on all of these different textures and these different quote-unquote cultures, if you want to call them. And her voice fits them because she's adapting.
I'm a present by some standards.
Yeah. Wow. That line. I'm unpleasant, right? Again, she's opening. I'm unpleasant by some standards. Ha.
I'm a present by some standards.
And because she was still in a continuous flow of her voice, to go to that ha, right, was just an extension of the line.
But in your eyes, I'm a queen.
Yes, queen. What did you do? We're gonna figure this out together. I'm a queen. Yeah, and of course she's changing the vowel. I'm a queen. I think that's what she's doing. Yeah, she is adding another note. So we'll add one in there. Oh wait, she did another note. Yeah, she did another note there too. Let's take it half speed. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and let's take that full speed. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, yeah. Of course, Beyonce's running all over the place.
That's exactly what I need.
Yeah. And I can walk. Beyonce has a really good understanding of her high notes, like I said before. But that what was very vertical. Exactly what?
Exactly what?
She is not shy about opening up her mouth in order to get that sound. Exactly what? Yeah.
I don't know how you love.
There you go. Okay, yeah. I don't know why you love. Now, here's the thing. I am not a growl specialist. It's not something I do when I sing. But Beyonce does it, and she does it really well. But you can tell she is comfortable. That was a D sharp 5. I don't. From what I know, growls is kind of like clearing your throat while singing. I have a history of hurting myself when I try to growl, so I ain't going to try to do that on today. But Beyonce's really great at doing it. And she did it on the highest belted note in this song. Kudos to her. Don't. Yeah, me. Yes. Best believe she's gonna bounce. If Beyonce's gonna do anything, she's going to bounce on a note. And again, all she's doing is heading up on a note and coming right back to that home. Yeah. Yeah, that's a run. You, ooh, 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 you. Yeah, and I love how on the bottom she ends up heading down to an O. Yeah, you bounce, ooh, you. Oh. Yeah, so let's take that half the speed right here. Yeah, and let's take that full speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, Beyonce has runs that are removed from the meter of the music. She also sings runs that are rhythmic. Yeah, like she's moving on the meter of the music. It's another thing about vocal control, if you want it. Yeah. 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 You see how easy that was? Yes. Yes. And you see, her shoulders did not go up. She is pulling from that chord. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing. Even with that run, I'm not even going to break that one down. Only because I need you to see she is playing with the notes that are already within the scale. She's just playing up and down. And then she goes up. You, do, re, mi, do, re, mi, re. You, right? She is literally going up and down the scale in these spaces. There are so many notes that are available if you will just choose them. Yeah. Yeah. I love that she's letting the weight show here. Like she is playing, giving like so much weight. And I think that's the major strength of the maturity of Beyonce's voice right now. And I'm glad that she's aware to be able to pull this out, right? This is like she sounds like thunder. This is some great singing over here. And here we get the long note. It's totally straight. And then vibrato. Yeah, that note, well supported and efficient in breath. Love. And then adds vibrato. Turns on the switch. Yes, Beyonce. She knew she sang.
That's why I love you.
Yeah, and again, the dynamic difference. And that's why, right? Because she's got the lower volume supported. She can just add volume whenever she wants. Oh yeah, Beyonce.
Catch me when I fall.
Yeah.
Accept me flaws and all.
Yeah, she's definitely singing to her fans here. She's like, yo, y'all fans, you love me. You love me. And that's why I love you. And everyone that loves this channel as well, I love you too. Come on, head voice. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And if you want to study a little bit more of how Beyonce's voice is just thriving in this maturity, I want you to go and listen to when we talked about Be Alive, because there you're starting to hear, again, more of those choices, more of that control. Absolutely. And I'll see you in another video. Bye, everyone.